Guys, the MacBook Air M5 is out. The M5 is out. M5 MacBook Air is out. Cool. I got the M4. I got the M4 MacBook Air. I don't need to get the M5. I was thinking about getting the M5, but I'm like, you know what? Just get the M4, because 4 is my favorite number, so I was thinking, just get the M4. I've never had a MacBook. I've never had a MacBook before. The only thing I've had is iPods and iPhones. Never was in the Apple ecosystem or anything. So now I've got the iPhones, the Macs, and the iPads. I don't have the Apple Watch or anything like that. I don't really like the Apple Watch as much, but I've got those three different items, and I'm in the Apple ecosystem now, so I do like it. I like the way I've got things set up now. It's really cool when you're in the Apple ecosystem. It's so cool. Everything's set up and everything's like, it's cool. Anyway, yeah, I decided just to get the M4 because 4 is my favorite number. So it's either 4 or 7. 7 is my other favorite number, and 47 is a very good number, very strong number. That's a very, very strong number, 47. But yeah, I just decided to get the M4 because 4 is my favorite number. When the M7 comes out, I'll probably get the M7. But yeah, I didn't want to get the M5. But anyway, it's out. MacBook Air M5 is out, so let's check it out. It just came out. It came out when the Neo came out, so let's check it out and see the upgrades, see what they've done. I don't think they've done much. They've only upgraded the chip. I think. But anyway, let's check it out.
So Apple has officially announced the M5 MacBook Air, and on the surface, it's exactly the kind of update most of us were expecting.
It's announced.
The design hasn't changed, the size is all the same, and if you walk past someone using it in a cafe, you probably wouldn't realize it's the newest model. But under the hood, there are still a few upgrades worth talking about, and more importantly, there's a bigger question: is this actually the MacBook Air most people should buy right now? Before we get into all of that, quick favor, around 90% of you guys watching these videos are not subscribed, which is honestly...
I reckon it's more worth it than the Neo. Just get the Air. It's in the middle. I prefer being in the middle than on the side, on too far on the left and too far on the right. Nah, just be in the middle. Be in the middle of things. But yeah, just get the Air. I reckon it's more worth it. But yeah, because with the Air, you can get all the M apps and all that, M5 apps, M4 apps. With the Neo, because it's an A chip, you can't download, like, the Resident Evil games. You can't download the, Lara Croft games. And there's some other apps you can't download, so it's better to have just an M chip. But anyway, let's get back into it.
Kinda crazy considering how deep we go into Apple news, rumors, and long-term analysis on this channel. So if you enjoy this type of content, hit subscribe and tap the hype button. It genuinely helps a small channel like mine a lot, and it helps these videos reach more people. Right, let's talk about the new Air. So first things first, the overall design is unchanged. Apple's sticking with the same flat-edged MacBook Air design we've had for a couple of generations now. That means the same thin aluminium body, the same clean minimalist look, and the same two size options, 13-inch and 15-inch. And honestly, that's fine. The current Air design is already really good. It's thin, it feels premium, and it still manages to be one of the lightest laptops Apple makes. Apple tends to keep designs around for a while when they work, and this is clearly one of those situations. So visually, this machine is extremely familiar. Same ports, same keyboard, same overall feel. If you're upgrading from an old Air, you might notice the modern design, but if you already own the M2, M3 or M4 Air, this is basically gonna look identical. Which brings us to the main upgrade, the M5 chipset. This is where Apple's focused most of the improvements this year. The chip is built on TSMC's refined 3nm process, bringing better efficiency and better performance compared to the previous generation. That's to be expected. The CPU layout is still familiar, mixing performance cores and efficiency cores, but overall multi-core performance is around 15% faster than the M4. Now, in typical Apple fashion, the improvements sound small when you see them out loud,
faster.
But the reality is these chips are already very fast to begin with. The MacBook Air slowly turned into a machine that can handle far more than people realize. A few years ago, the Air...
Yeah, it's usually like 20% faster each year. Every year, it's like the chip gets 20% faster, so it's not really worth the upgrade.
...was the light tasks Mac, web browsing, documents, Netflix, emails. Now people are editing videos on this, including myself, writing codes, working with large photo libraries, and generally pushing it far harder than Apple probably expected when the original Air launched years ago. Graphics performance is also improved thanks to the updated GPU inside the M5, Apple's enhanced ray tracing capabilities, and improved overall GPU performance, which helps with creative work, games, and anything that relies on graphics acceleration. If you're someone editing videos, designing graphics, or experimenting with 3D software, these improvements will matter. For everyday use though, the difference between the M4 and the M5 probably won't blow your mind. Opening apps, browsing the web, writing documents, watching YouTube, all of that was already fast on the previous model. The new chip just gives you more headroom. Apple's also continued improving the neural engine, which handles machine learning activities and AI features across macOS. That means better performance for things like photo processing, transcription, background activities, and all the AI features Apple keeps blabbering on about lately. And yes, Apple's definitely going to market that heavily. Another strength of the MacBook Air that continues here is efficiency. Battery life remains one of the best parts of the Air range, and the M5 model continues to give you 18 hours of video playback. So basically, most should easily get through a full day of usage without even thinking about the charger, which is exactly what a laptop like this should deliver. There are also improvements in memory supports and internal bandwidth, meaning heavier workloads and multitasking run more smoothly. Now,
before I got the MacBook Air, I actually thought it had 24 hours of battery life, but that is the Pro. The Air has 18 batteries. I didn't know that, but it doesn't matter.
There is one big change this year that's actually quite important, and that's a price. Technically,
because I remember the commercial, they always advertised a 24-hour battery, all-day battery, and I'm like, oh, but I didn't know the Air. I thought the Air had 24 hours, but yeah.
The MacBook Air has gone up in price. The starting price has moved from $999 to $1099. But Apple didn't just increase the price and call it a day, the base storage has doubled. Instead of starting at 256 gigs like before, the M5 MacBook Air now starts with 512 gigs of storage. So in Apple's eyes, the value is still there.
Yeah, you bloody
paying more, but you're
bastards.
also getting more.
That's
However,
the only thing
this
that's
is
worth
where
it.
things get interesting, because
That's the only thing that's worth it. You get 512 gig at the starting point.
if you were fine with 256 gigs of storage, suddenly last year's model becomes way more appealing. The M4 MacBook Air still has the same design, still performs incredibly well, and now it's starting to show up for noticeably less money. I've already seen refurbished models drop in price on Apple's refurbished store, and those can be some of the best deals Apple offers. So for a lot of people, the M4 might actually be the sweet spot right now. You save money, you still get excellent performance, and in day-to-day usage, it's going to feel extremely similar to the new machine. And it doesn't stop there. You could even look at the M3 MacBook Air if you really want to save some cash. That laptop is still very capable, and unless you specifically care about newer features like the upgraded center stage camera, most people won't notice a huge difference day to day. We're at a point now where Apple's chips are so powerful that skipping a generation or two barely affects the experience for typical users, which is honestly kind of impressive. So while the M5 MacBook Air is technically the best MacBook Air you could buy right now, the real story might be the value of the slightly older models. Sometimes the smartest Apple purchase isn't the newest product, it's the one that just became cheaper. Now another thing some were hoping for with this generation was a display upgrade. There have been rumors for a while that OLED is coming to the MacBook line, but that hasn't happened here. The MacBook Air is still using the same exact 60Hz LCD panel, and according to most reports, that isn't changing for a few more years. The MacBook Pros expect to get OLED first, with the Air potentially following later on, which might not happen until somewhere around 2028. That might sound far away, but when you consider how many MacBook Airs Apple sells, it actually makes sense.
I thought we're getting it next year.
Scaling new display technology across millions of devices takes time, so for now the display remains.
I thought we're getting the MacBook Air. I thought we're getting the MacBook Pro touchscreen OLED screen next year. I don't know what the hell. I really thought that.
Remains the same one we're familiar with. Bright, sharp,
and then the next year after that,
the Air would get it. People, it just doesn't have those OLED blacks just yet. Zooming out a bit, this update really shows Apple's current Mac strategy. They're focusing on refining the chips every year, improving efficiency, and slowly pushing performance forwards. No huge redesigns, no dramatic changes, just steady progress. And to be fair, it's working. MacBooks right now are some of the best laptops you can buy, especially if you're already in the Apple ecosystem. But again, coming back to my main takeaway from this launch, yes, the M5 MacBook Air is great, but if I was spending my own money, I'd probably grab an M4 model for less. Same design, very similar real-world performance, and you save some cash. And if you really don't mind being a generation or two behind,
Yeah.
even the M3 Air is still a solid option. The gap between these machines just isn't massive anymore, which is actually good news for
The
buyers.
M3 is pretty good.
It means you have options. You get the
Even the
newest
M2,
model if you
man.
want the latest chipset and the extra storage, or you can grab an older one and get an excellent laptop that will still last you for years. Either way, the MacBook Air continues to be one of the easiest laptops to recommend. It's portable, powerful, well built and reliable. Apple clearly knows exactly what this product needs to be, and every generation just refines it a little more, even if this year's update's more evolutionary than exciting. Now I'm curious what you think about the M5 MacBook Air. Are you planning to pick one up, or would you rather save your money and go with the M4 or even the M3 model? And if you made this far into this video, you're clearly into Apple content like this.
Well, that's the M5. The M5's out, guys. Let me know. Are you guys going to pick up an M5, or are you just going to get the M4? Do you have an M4? Or what MacBook Air do you have? Or do you have a MacBook Air? I don't know. Do you have the Pro? I don't know. Let me know. Do you guys have... What M chip do you guys have? Let me know if you guys do have MacBooks. Or if... Yeah, anyway. I don't know. Let me know. Yeah. M5's out. M5 MacBook Air's out. It's out. It's been announced. It's not out yet, but it's been announced. Yeah, let me know. Let me know all the details down in the comments below. You guys gonna pick one up, or you guys got M4, M3, M2? Like, yeah, let me know. Drop a like, you guys, if you guys did enjoy this one. Notification bell always on. Make sure it's always on. And I'll see you guys in my next reaction video. Macbook Air M5's out. Well, it's been announced, so cool. See you guys in the next one.